If you've been a Christian for even a short period of time, you've probably heard somebody say Jesus hung out with sinners or Jesus was a friend of sinners. And usually when they say that, they are saying it to kind of imply that Jesus somewhat endorsed the behavior, or at the very least didn't have a problem with the behavior since he was hanging out with them. But let's look at what Jesus actually said about this. So Matthew 9:9-12. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax booth. "Follow me," he told him. And Matthew got up and followed him. Later, as Jesus was dining at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" On hearing this, Jesus said, "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick." Jesus qualifies his relationship with the sinner. And when he qualifies his relationship with the sinner, he says it's a doctor and patient kind of relationship. Usually when people say Jesus hung out with sinners, they say it to kind of imply that that was his pastime. Like that was what Jesus did when he was done with his carpentry work. He would just go and hang out with his guys. No. Jesus qualifies the relationship as a doctor and a patient kind of relationship. And I think we all know that doctors don't go to hospitals to chill with patients. If he says the sinner is sick, he is saying that there's something wrong with the sinner. And this is very important because whenever you quote that Jesus was a friend of sinners to imply that he didn't have a problem with the sin, you are saying the exact opposite of what Jesus was saying. Because if Jesus says the sinner is sick, that means something is wrong with the sinner. But the difference between Jesus and the judgmental Christian that you don't like is this: Jesus doesn't just come and point at you and tell you that there's something wrong with you and you need to fix up. Jesus says, "I'm the one that helps you. I'm the doctor that will make you well." And this is really important because when most people say Jesus hung out with sinners, they are saying it to imply that he didn't have a problem with the sin. But when you teach that, you're doing a disservice to Jesus and to the sinner. Because one, Jesus is the only one that can actually help the sinner, and that is how he presented himself. And you're doing a disservice to the sinner in that you are telling them that there's nothing wrong with them and implying that Jesus said the same thing or thought the same thing. But that's not the case. So yes, Jesus hung out with sinners, but it wasn't because they were his besties or because that was his pastime. No. It's because if you're looking for a doctor, you usually find him where the sick people are.